sometimes we'll be live and we'll be thinking that it's not on.
And it, yeah.
Oh, it's on. It's on. Was that coming from YouTube?
That's just a notification on my phone as far as
Okay.
who's live.
Okay, I see there are two people on there, but I don't see any names. Don't know. Somebody's on there. Don't know.
Hey.
Alicia, for real?
This is like double
Yeah.
dose.
Look at you, trying to be saved on
Trying to go to
Wednesday.
heaven.
She got a birthday and then she accepted the Lord in her life.
Ah, what?
God bless you.
Ah.
How we looking, Taisha?
Pardon?
How are we looking?
Oh, I was
Oh, I thought you said we were on.
Me too.
5, 4, 3, 2.
I think this is gay.
I don't hear anything, so I guess we might be on.
I think we live. Hey, good afternoon,
God bless
everybody.
you. God bless you. God bless every one of you. You know how we do it.
Woo,
This is the day that the Lord
yeah.
has made.
Yeah.
We're rejoicing
We're here.
and we are extreme.
Okay, now go.
I love it. What y'all know about that?
We
We
here.
on here.
Y'all heard it?
All of y'all heard it. We're
Back
going to do
to
that again for
basics.
you all.
Hey.
We are here, Back to Basics, Eyes of Faith radio broadcast,
Woo!
emanating from the very fine studios of Faith United Ministries,
yeah.
located 7905 Fernham Lane in District Heights, Maryland.
Absolutely.
Church Talk Radio.
Woo!
What's up with
Hey,
you?
Church
What's
Talk.
up? What's up? What's up? Listen, we're glad to have you all on there, and we got Taisha.
Taisha.
Who brought
hold
the
it down.
energy, brought the fire.
Appreciate
She
you,
brought the life
Thank
by
you.
coming on here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you, love.
Yep.
Glad to have you there, and glad to have everybody coming in by way of
Hey.
our Facebook and YouTube
Hey.
family. I saw everybody
Thank you.
coming on here first time around. I saw
Alicia.
Alicia was on there.
God bless you.
Sister Gwen was on
We
there.
see you.
We saw Tashelle on there.
Thank y'all.
We saw my son Freddie Shelton on there. We
Appreciate
see you on there.
Thank
We
y'all.
saw Barbara and Spriggs on
Stay
there.
on, stay on,
Don't
stay
go
on.
nowhere.
Yeah.
We see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. We see Daniel Thornton. You know, that's Mr. Happy of the Happy and Happier team. So we're glad to have all of y'all on there. Please let me know you're out there. Show me some thumbs, some hearts, something.
please.
Let me know you are out there, out there, out there. Yep, he said Montgomery, Alabama in the house.
Alabama.
I have not been to Montgomery, Alabama. Hint, hint. Sorry, not sorry. I have not been to Montgomery, Alabama. You got to get me down there because the heavyweight champion of the world is from Alabama. So you got to get me down there and set up a luncheon. Son Freddie, set up a luncheon with me, you, and Deontay Wilder. Make that happen. Thank you so much. Brittany, my G baby. I see her on
Hey,
here.
New
Thank you
York.
so much. Wait a minute. There's my sister, Glenda Freeman. Sis,
Oh,
what?
hey.
What's up, sis? What's up?
Good
Good to see you
afternoon.
on there. And listen, she's the top director for anyone that's ever going through losses or family transitions. You need to get with Freeman's Funeral Services. That's my sister. She makes it happen. Did my sister and did a wonderful job. Made her look so very, very, very wonderful. Thank you so very, very much. Y'all need to hook her up. Look her up. Look up Glenda Freeman and Freeman Funeral. Full service, full
Everything.
service,
Don't have to
and
work for nothing.
let me just say this: extremely affordable, extremely affordable. So need to look around. Gave you a shout out, sis. Gave you a shout out. You know, now I'm not dying, so I'm not going to need your services no time soon. But I'm just saying, gave you a shout out. Glad to have you on there. We're glad to have everybody coming on. So many faces and people are
Yes,
coming up,
thank
popping
y'all
up.
so much.
Tammy Reed, thank you so much. Saw you coming on there.
Please
Thank
share
you.
this or make this a watch party.
Make it a watch party. Why don't you do that?
Do that.
Make it a watch party. Say, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
See, that's what happens when you have a hat. Your mind works better.
That's what it is.
I was like on brain freeze. I didn't think to tell people.
Yeah, make it a watch
Yeah,
party.
you got a brain freeze because I have no hair. So make it a watch party.
Come on.
Since you're on, go ahead and make it a watch
Yes.
party. Get all your
Everybody
people
involved.
doing that as well. You know, thank you so much, Cheryl Henderson, for coming on. I appreciate you so very, 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 very much. We're just glad to be here. And of
Second dose,
course,
yes.
this is the second dose
Yay.
of the double dose.
Woo.
This is the extra scoop that, you know, when you eat the first scoop of ice cream, you normally get full off of that one, but there's always another one underneath that kind of like melts down into the bottom of the cone that you have the ability, see, I'm about to show my age, that you go ahead and just bite the bottom of the cone and suck it down through it instead of going through trying to eat it from the top.
Ah,
See, that's old school.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I,
when-
yeah. I never was good with eating ice cream cones.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the ice cream will always
Just-
Right.
Right.
It fell. I
It
don't know why.
come off to the side.
Oh man.
All of us would be out with double scooped ice cream
I
cones
have a cut.
and without fail. I don't know.
He
You
said,
know,
"Oh, yeah, it's so fortunate."
all of our stuff
Yeah.
comes out. You know, when you start to do the show, things just come up and it comes out. But
Yeah.
that was what we were dealing with back in the days in the Boulevard of Linden. I'm sorry, I was just feeling like that. You know, feel like little Tribe Called Quest and little Q-Tip, you know, right there. But look, I'm so happy that you all are on there and Church Talk Radio. Thank you. Thank you so much for being there for us every week. Want to thank my daughter. You
Yes, she
know,
is.
that she just come up as I was getting ready to say it.
Yes, she
Come
is.
on,
Good
Regina
afternoon.
Robinson Davis. Always coming on. Thank you so much for supporting us and keeping us going, keeping us out there, and for always sending me a love offering. I just
bless
appreciate
you.
that. That's just wonderful. You know, I love that about you as well, amongst many other things. The fact that you help so many people.
Come on.
She's got such a heart for outreach.
That's awesome.
She's got a heart for outreach. And I love that about her. You know, she's just such a humble person, but she's always trying to look out for other people less fortunate. And I appreciate that about her. Even when she has challenges in her own body, she doesn't let that stop her from what she does. So I appreciate
bless
her
you.
so very much. Listen, I got some people here with me. I see my daughter Sharon Wallace has come on.
Hey,
That's the
afternoon.
soul winner extraordinaire.
Amen.
You know, she just be out there going where no one wants to go.
Yeah.
Talking to those who no one wants to be bothered with. And she just gets them, you know,
Works
she
it out.
goes and gets them, and I appreciate her so very, very, very much. But look, I got my co-hosts, my cohorts here with me. On the left of me, you know, I told her earlier today that her hair was herring. H-A-I-R-I-N-G. She said, is it hairy? I said, no, it's herring. Herring. It's herring.
She's getting a
You know,
full blowout
yeah,
today.
you know, I mean, it's like up
It's making
there.
us
It's
feel
like,
bad 'cause
oh no, it's the
our hair's
blowout
not doing
kit
that.
without the blowout
Yeah.
kit. It's like she gets up in the morning and does this.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I'm done, my hair is cold for the day.
Yep.
You know, and so I just wash my face from my chin to the back of my neck. That's all I do. I just
It's not from your chin to the
Right.
from my chin to the back of my neck. I just wash my face. You know? But
Great.
listen, I've got her on the left of me. You know who she is. StephTheBest.net.org.com, the DOT, box of dots, .llc. Did you guys do that? Yeah, this is the GOT.LLC.
Okay.
I got major bars.
Hey.
I got major bars. And I don't like to drink. I talk a lot, but my breath don't stink. Listen, I'm right here in the studio with me. It's Steph. Greet the people, Steph.
I'm excited to second dose. You know, yesterday we had women's ministry, and co-pastor had used the analogy of, you know, a boxer and how they have their team and everybody standing behind them. And I was one of the people that said I'm in the middle of my fight, and she had said that it's very important to have people, you know, that can kind of hold you down and to encourage you.
Yeah.
And you guys, you might be that person to encourge someone.
That's
you
right.
need to make sure you're sharing this. You need to make sure you're getting this word out, because somebody, I'm telling you, needs to see this right now.
Wow. And
right now.
And they might, you know, the person you are supposed to be swiping it or sending it or calling it to a watch party might be at the end of their rope and at the end of their hope. Because we've had people that have said, that teaching today saved my life. That teaching today saved, you know, I had somebody come to the church one time when I was in an old building, and I preached a message. And when I preached the message, the guy came up to me and he said, "Hey man, thank you for that word," and everything like that. And I said, "Well man, look, I appreciate you coming by visiting us." He said, "No, you don't understand. You saved my wife." I said, "Oh, she got saved in our ministry?" He said, "No, you saved my wife." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I caught her in an affair with somebody else, and today I was on my way to go and kill her and her lover."
Wow.
And he had his gun in his hand. He said, "But you saved her by that message that you gave today." You need to swipe this because somebody might get this, maybe not right now. They might watch it later on. They may watch it. I had someone that was watching today, the one that we had done a week ago. So you've got to sometimes consider that the word does not change no matter what time of the day, the week, the month somebody is getting it. So please put this on your page, swipe it, share it. We want to help somebody out. We really, really want to do that. So thank you, Steph, for bringing that back up and for sharing that like that, because you never know who's watching.
Exactly.
I mean, I've just this week had young person dealing with the concept and the thought of suicide. You know, so it's a lot of things that are going on. People are hurting and you don't even know that they're hurting.
Right.
So I want to encourage you all, please swipe it, share it, and all of that kind of stuff. And then on the right of me, the Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter. The Mad Hatter. She is here. She is here. You know, always on 1,000, one word, one name. All she needs is one mic, one mic.
Oh,
That's all she needs.
that's good. That in and out.
See that in and out. You know that fade? Mic. Not even the whole word.
Right.
You know, but you knew it. You knew it. Look at people, they with me. They with me. You know who she is. Josie.
Hey, Church Talk Radio. We are glad to be here another week. Facebook and YouTube.
Yes.
Hey, thank y'all so much for your consistent support. We really do appreciate it.
Consistent.
It's a blessing when, especially because of this time of the day, people are shutting out, shutting down. But we appreciate y'all support. Steph, I know earlier you said that you didn't want this, but I feel it.
Feel it.
Come on in the room.
I don't have a voice, but you come on.
In the room.
You know Jesus.
Is my doctor.
What key are you in?
Oh, my Christian.
What key are you in?
All of my medicine in the room.
Hold that. That's the Baptist part. My Lord, you ought to come on.
In the room.
You're singing too fast. Come on.
In the room.
The Baptist folks said, Jesus is my doctor.
Remix it.
He writes up all of my scripts. And he gives me all of my medicine.
In the room.
We gonna be a comedy show. By the time we get finished, you know, everybody, I said, what key? Listen. And then you break it down. Because the Baptist folk,
Oh, man.
y'all had like the Pentecostal thing.
Yeah.
Come on in the room, my Lord. I said, no. We got Baptist folk on here.
Look, y'all, they got so much for tuning in. You know, we had to just give just a little bit of humor. Appreciate your
Crawford.
time. Thank y'all so much. Look, if you don't already know what's going on with the now of Pastor Sturdivant, I don't know why, because it's available for you if you go to his landing page, www.JESturdivantministries.
STRIES. What the problem is?
They're gonna type in www.JESturdivantministries what the problem is. They were like, I can't find his
Can't
page.
find his name.
Go to www.JESturdivantministries.com.
STRIES.
You can see what's going on with him. You can see what's going on as far as his sermons, his teachings, his calendars, everything that he's doing. And also his books. He has written books and he got some more coming out this year.
Got books.
If you don't have these books, I don't know why, because his teachings, his sermons, a lot of it have to do, and these books are his testimony as it relates to his life. Please support. Go on his page. Go on his YouTube page. We appreciate the YouTube family, but we need more of you all because we got some things happening. We want you to be involved.
Yep.
So you want to get into this teaching?
I want to get into it, but I want to shout out, my son all the way down there in Florida, Frankie. I saw you on there. A daughter up in the New York, Buffalo area. I saw, Lisa Cole on there. Thank you so much. Cheryl Henderson on there. Thank you so much. The one that's made it possible for us to be on here, like I said again, is Regina Robinson Davis. I just love her and I appreciate her. I thank all of you all for just tuning in. Stay with the brother. Stay with the brother. Now listen, we have on this broadcast, if you've missed the one from earlier today, go on my timeline and check it out. It's going to bless your life. We were talking about just getting the dysfunctional family back in order. And you need to go on and get that and join me when I'm on every Wednesday at 10 a.m. You need to catch that. But this second dose, we have been dealing with the concept of love, and we've been sharing this for over a year because it's a subject that's never exhausted. It is never exhausted. And so we have been dealing with everything from the depth of your love and understanding love and all of that. And today I kind of want to talk about a little something because what I have learned considering love is that everybody may know how to define love. The deep church folk, they be like, there's eros love, there's filial love, there's agape love, and we got all of the Greek terms that we can't spell and define that as love. So I appreciate everybody getting deep with that part right there. However, that's the Greek terminologies. But then when you look at what Paul writes about in 1 Corinthians chapter number 13, we then start getting the definition of love. The song by B.B. years ago, B.B. Winans says that love is a feeling. Yeah. But we understand that love is not only a feeling, love is a choice. It is a choice. It is a decision that one makes. People say, I fell in love, like it was an accident, like you had on the wrong size heels, like you tripped over a crack in the concrete, like you missed a step, like you stumbled, and now you in it and don't know how you got here. How did you get here? You're not supposed to be here. See, and so that's how sometimes you gotta love. Where you come from? What rock you call from under? Where love was like an accident. You really didn't mean to be there or anything. So we've got the things where we know the definition of love and all of that. We know the Greek words of love. But then I have found that people have the definitions, they've got the Greek words, but they don't know the characteristics. And that's why people are saying the word, I love you, without demonstrating the actions of love. I'm saying that I love you. That's the word. I know what it means. I've got the definition, but I am not demonstrating it. So people are confused because the words that we say that are supposed to be based on love don't have the actions behind them that's demonstrating love. And so folk are confused. I know what you said, but I'm watching what you're doing. And what you're doing is not lining up with what you said, especially if the definition of love is what you want me to believe what you're saying is supposed to be. So a lot of folk get messed up, relationships get messed up, marriages get messed up, children are confused. Everybody's just kind of off because they did not see what they thought love was. You know, Al Green said, love is walking together, talking together, love and happiness. See, he told us what love was, but nobody's demonstrated the characteristics of love. So I was doing some studying and I came up with some of the characteristics of love. Not what is love, but what does love. Not what love is, what does love do? Now, if I can now figure out what love does, then I can watch your actions and determine whether you are actually loving me or not. You know, when I was much younger, much younger, my mom's generation had a song that said, if you love me like you say you do, why you treat me like you do? If you love me like you say you do, why you treat me like you do? Which means that people will now understand love not by your words, but by your actions. So y'all want to say anything before I kind of jump into this a little bit? Okay, so let's look at one of the things about love. And I'm just going to give you 7 C's. 7 C's to help you understand what love actually looks like. There's many more, but just for the sake of time, I'm going to give you 7. Steph, would you read Proverbs chapter 10, verse number 12, please? Proverbs 10, verse 12, please.
Hatred stirs up strife.
Hatred stirs up strife. So, if someone is always keeping a commotion, always keeping something going on, always got something happening, always trying to come in and start drama, that person cannot come in and tell you that I love you. Because hatred always has to keep something going. Hatred will pick an argument when there's nothing to argue about. Hatred will just start tearing down somebody that they don't even know. Hatred stirs up strife. Please read the last part of that verse, though.
But love covers all sins.
But love covers all sins. In other words, hatred wants to always expose something. Love is going to try to cover something. I wrote down something. You ought not want to see someone get what they deserved. Well, they deserve that. They deserve that. It's good enough for them. They need to eat poo-poo and die. They need to go ahead, put on a gasoline suit, I'll strike a match, and they can all go to hell. See, you ought not want somebody to get what they deserve. Why? Because from the perspective of Jesus, we are supposed to consider ourselves when we're dealing with somebody else. In other words, I should want the same type of grace if I love. I want the same type of grace for you that I want for myself. I don't want to see you get embarrassed because one day, the same way that you're going through, I might be going through. And I've said this many times that the only person that can help you when you are on the bottom is somebody who's been on the bottom and is no longer there but understands how you feel. People who have never walked in your shoes will always tell you, get over it. No, if you've been where I was, you would understand what it's taking for me to just make it. So love covers. I wanted to give something here. John chapter 3, verse 16 through 21. You all know this one almost by heart. John chapter number 3, verses 16 through 21. I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to go ahead on. Steph, read John 3:16. I know you're feeling it. Come on.
For God so loved the world.
For God so loved. That's when you know the love is so great until I don't even have a word to describe it. So I just say so. God so loved the world. Couldn't say God loved the world 100. That's not enough.
Right.
God loved the world 1,000. That's not enough. God so loved, meaning there's no number you can put on it. God so loved the world. Go ahead.
That he gave his only begotten
He
Son.
gave his only begotten Son.
That whoever believes in him
Whoever believes in him
shall not perish.
shall not perish.
But have everlasting
So
life.
he loves enough to not let someone have to go through what they deserve. Read the next part, please.
For God did not send his Son
Right.
into the world to condemn.
In other
the
words,
world.
God said, I didn't come here to try to tell you how bad you are or to beat you down. I didn't come here for that. And I remember starting out by saying he loved so much. Now he's saying what happens as the actions when it comes to love. I didn't come to destroy the world, condemn the world, but what?
But that the world through him might be saved.
But that the world through me, I'll take what you should get so that by you taking on me, you no longer have to get the punishment that you deserve. Go ahead, please.
He who believes in him is not condemned,
Right?
but he who does not believe is condemned.
In other words, he says, look, if you believe in me, you're not going to be condemned. But if you don't believe, you already condemned. Go ahead, please.
Because he has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God.
He has not believed in the name of the only begotten Son. So you can't discount Jesus and then think that you're going to get favor from God after you've eliminated the one that God sent to kind of be the go-between between you and God. Go ahead, please.
And this is the condemnation
This is the condemnation.
that the light has come into the world,
That light is coming to the world.
and men love darkness rather than light.
In other words, he says, here's what's condemning you, is that light has come, you've rejected light, which means that you really love darkness. You really wanted darkness more than light. Now, it's not that you have to be in darkness, it's that you have rejected the light that has come. So love covers. And if you just want to do some follow-up, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 8 is the same thing that Proverbs 10 and 12 says. Proverbs says that love covers all sin. But, you know, I love that 1 Peter 4, 8 because it kind of went on a tangent. You know, that 1 Peter 4, 8 says something. Watch what it says about that same Proverbs. Please, well, Steph, since you're on it, read this last one. It says, what? 1 Peter 4, 8, come on.
And above all things,
Yep.
have fervent love.
Have fervent love, fiery love, passionate love, love that is always on fleek, always on 1,000. What?
For one another.
For one another,
For love will cover a multitude of sins.
not just all sins,
A multitude.
a multitude. And sometimes you try to figure out, you know, why would a parent put up with a child that's acting like this and acting like that? Well, until you are a parent and have a child, you don't know why a parent will go to the nth degree for a child, because that love keeps covering. Even though you as a sibling, you as a best friend, you as the next door neighbor or auntie, give up on them. No, you don't understand. This is the expression of my love. And I don't know how to quit. I don't know how to give up. You know, they always say that if you really want to see the love of Jesus in action on earth, you'll see it through mothers quicker than fathers. I know they like to say that, you know. I'd like to think I'm a kind of different breed, but nevertheless, you've got to understand that love keeps on hanging in. You know, I'll never forget when Bill Clinton was going through all he was going through, you know, and people were saying, you know, and he just was caught in a lie publicly and all of that kind of stuff. And somebody came to Hillary and said, you know, why don't you just divorce him? Because she's standing up there by him and everything with all this going on. And they said, why don't you divorce him? And Hillary said to him, she said, I considered his hands and I like the way that he makes me laugh. So she had a vision of his hands and that he made her laugh. And those are very, very small things, but you never know what it is that makes a person mean so much to somebody else. You're trying to figure, you ought to walk away. You can do better, but you don't know what that individual means to the other individual. I know right now some of you are listening to me and you're like, I can't believe that he with her. I can't believe that she with him. I can't believe that they together. But you don't understand that that person may be filling a void or a need in that individual's life. And as a result of that, there is a tie or a connection that they are putting up with something that they really should not be putting up with, but the individual feels a need. Love covers. So that's the first C. So you all write that down, that the characteristics of love is that number one, love covers. Love covers. Love covers. But then I've got another C that I want to give you. If you look at John chapter number 13, verse 34 and 35. John chapter number 13, verses 34 and 35. Josiane, read that, please.
So when he had gone out, Jesus, now the Son of Man, is glorified, and God is glorified in him.
Right?
Verse 34. A new commandment I give to you.
Wait a minute. A what?
A new commandment
A new commandment. What?
I give to you.
Now, this is not really a new commandment. It is his commandment being expressed in a new way. He is saying, a new commandment, go ahead, I give to you. What is that?
That you love one another.
That you love one another. I love that. I love that. Go ahead.
As I have loved you.
Do love towards others as I have loved you. Now, we just now saw that love covers. So what did he do for us by love? He wound up covering all of the flaws and only believed in the good of the individuals that he was coming to die for. He was believing in the good of the ones he came to die for. I'm going to say it again. He was believing in the good of the ones that he was dying for. So he says to love others how? As I have
loved you.
Which means that he wants us in our love towards one another to believe in the good of an individual, no matter how jacked up they looking.
Right.
Believe in the good. See, that's the hard part right there, because they be like, child, please. Child, please. It'd be a cold day in hell. A cold day. But you got to believe in the good because someone believed in the good concerning you. Please read on.
That you also love one another.
That you also love one another. I've loved you, so that's how I want you to love one another. Now, here's the one that's going to be the ticker. Watch this.
By this all will know that you are my disciples.
There it is. By this, by what? By the love that you give towards someone believing in the good, then people are going to know you're my disciples. Love, number one, covers, but number two, love classifies. Love lets people know that you are truly one that belongs to the Lord Jesus Christ. Listen, anybody can love somebody that loves them. Anybody can treat somebody right that treats them right. He is saying, love those that don't deserve it the same way that I loved you and you didn't deserve it. He says, this is going to let people know you're my disciples. So there are a whole lot of people. Come on, swipe this right, please. Swipe this right. There's a whole lot of people that are carrying titles. They the bishop, they the archbishop, they the potentate, they the pope, the Catholic pope. They are all them things. They are all of the titles. They are in churches. They're on the greeters ministry. They're the deacons and the trustees. They are in church. They're supposed to be the ones that love the sheep, yet they cannot stand them. And they are in positions representing Christ, which is why this is not all of the justification, but this is why some people will go through church hurt because they come to the so-called church expecting to find the love of Jesus, and they don't find the love of Jesus because they find people who don't like people yet want to claim that they love Jesus. Love covers, love classifies. He said again, by this, what?
All will know.
All will know. You ain't got to go around and say, I'm a Christian. People will see what you do. They will see how you treat others. And they will say, you must be a Christian. The sad truth, I'm about to tell it. I'm going to tell it. I don't care who know I'm going to tell it. But I'm going to tell it. There are some people that don't even come in a church that show more Christ-like love than people that go to church. There are some people that don't even darken a church doorway that show more Christ-like love than the ones that come in on a regular basis with backwards collars on and big chains around their neck and skirts all the way down to the top of the toes of their shoes, you know, and yet they just as nasty as they can be because somebody comes in and they don't look the part, don't smell the part, have been through something, but those same people, you know, I saw something on TV, well, social media, you know, the guy was doing this TV thing on his line, and what it was that he saw a guy that was a homeless guy, and he had his buddy recording, and he gave the homeless guy some money. The homeless guy went with the money. They followed him at a distance. The homeless guy took the money, went into a place and bought hamburger sandwiches and all those type of things. They got several separate little bags of sandwiches and everything. And then he went around to all of his homeless buddies and started giving them a sandwich bag and giving them a sandwich bag and giving them a sandwich bag. And the guy that had given him the $100 bill, he went on and said, listen, I gave you a $100 bill, and what did you do? He says, well, I went and bought sandwiches. He said, yeah, but you could have used the money. He said, yeah, but they could have used the sandwich. And he wound up taking the $100 bill that he could have kept for himself and wound up buying $100 worth of sandwiches to give to all of his homeless friends. And he said, why would you do that? He said, because it's rough out here and people walk past us and we don't know when we're going to get something else. I know what it's like to not have a sandwich. I wanted to make sure that other people had a sandwich. He hugged the guy, loved him, and gave him another $100 bill.
Wow.
Why am I saying that? Because that guy ain't gonna make it to nobody's church. Nobody would probably even invite him. Nobody would even want him to come in. And they will wind up treating him badly. We had a brother one night that Sister Sharon Wallace, one of our outreach witnesses, she brought him in her car and brought him to church. And the guy had messed on himself. He was very unclean, all those type of things like that. But she picked him up and brought him here.
Wow.
And we wound up doing everything we could for him. Why? Because that was a person that we didn't push outside of the ministry. We did not say, you can't come. We didn't say, go take a shower. He didn't have a place to take one. We have one. You know, you've got to now recognize that you want to do towards others what you want others to do towards you. And it classifies. It says, folk will know you're my disciples, not that you go to church. Folk will know that you're my disciples, not that you have a title. Folk will know that you are my disciples when you have love one for another. Not when you pass the board, not when you get your ordination papers, not when you do your trial sermon, not when you become a walking deacon, not when you are a trustee, but when you have love for one another. That's the demonstration that you really are his disciples. So the question is, how many people are actually his disciples and how many just go to church? How many are really his disciples? Real love has got to not only cover, real love will also classify you. It's going to tell you where you belong. Now, look at John 14, verse 15. I got another one right here. Another C when it comes to love. So I hope you all are writing it down. Number one, real love covers. Proverbs 10, verse 12. Real love classifies. John 13, verse 34 and 35. But now, here is another thing that love does. John 14, verse 15. Read, please.
If you love me,
Right.
keep my commandments.
Wait a minute. If you
Love me,
do what?
keep my commandments.
Which means that real love not only covers and not only classifies, but real love commits. It commits. If you love me, then keep. Real love commits. You all are beautiful girls. What is it that happens sometimes when you're talking to a guy and everything like that? He don't mind being with you for a minute. His struggle is with commitment. It's with commitment. I've had people talk and say, I don't want to make a promise. I say, why? Because I know I'm not going to keep it. I don't want to make a promise and then break it. And people are like, well, at least you're honest. I can appreciate your transparency. At least I know where you stand. Really? And you want that person? When they're telling you, I can't make you a promise that I'm going to keep? And you think that, well, that's good. It's transparency. I needed transparency. The honesty meant so much to me. No, what you should be looking for is not just someone who is transparent about not being able to commit. Then you get with them because of their transparency, but be mad because they don't keep their word. You can't, I can't believe he did that to me. But didn't he tell you from jump that he could not commit? That he was not going to make up? Look, I just want you to know, I love my women's. I just want you to know, this is what you get. If you want it, I'm down for it. If you don't, somebody else will. You're like, okay. Why? Because you think I can love him out of it. I can love him enough for both of us, and eventually, no. They don't get better after you get them. They become more of whatever they were because they know that they're already there. So real love covers, it classifies, it commits. A lot of let me see what I have right here. A lot of what is going on in the world today that is the destruction of many marriages as well as the hindrance to many relationships is the inability of one to commit. We make vows when we get married. I do. I'm yours. My mind, my body, everything is yours. Then we get married and we wind up not wanting to keep that my mind, my body. Oh, you think you can think for me? Oh, you think I ought to be here for you whenever you want it? See, we say things before as if we're going to commit to it, but we don't want to have to follow through. We get people in the name of love, knowing the definition of love, but not want to carry out the characteristics of love. Y'all want to say anything before I go on?
I think what's amazing, even when you kind of think about love and real love, the way that God did it as far as, Jesus down on the cross for us, love, that type of love doesn't require any type of explanation.
Come on.
And when you kind of think about that scenario, it's not like people was asking, why are you sacrificing your life? Why are you choosing to go through this beating? Why are you choosing to go through this hatred? Why are you choosing to do all of this for these people? And it wasn't no questions asked, and he didn't even have to give anybody an explanation because real love, when it's real and genuine and unconditional, it doesn't require the explanation. The reason why he gave his life for us was because of the love that he had for us. Now, if you have to kind of justify some things as it relates to why are you with this person, why are you doing this, you almost got to ask yourself, is that real love?
Absolutely.
Because when you have to be on a defense about it, or you have to show some type of explanation, it's almost like, is that love, or is that like a whole lot of liking, a whole lot of interest that's there? So it's a lust, you know. So it's when you think about God, and He's the epitome of love. Of course,
it says God is love.
God is love.
Yep.
He doesn't owe any explanation. Even to this day, when we have made promises and didn't keep them, He still loves us and is there for us unconditionally. Can we say the same for the people that we say we love?
That's the word, unconditionally. I was watching Deontay Wilder was he's the heavyweight champion from down Alabama, and he was being interviewed before a fight with Tyson Fury, which he won. But when somebody was trying to bait him into a racial thing, he said, "You all know what you're doing. You know what you're doing." The guy said, "I don't know what I'm doing." He said, "You know what you're doing." The guy said, "Explain to me what I'm doing." He said, and here's what he said. He said, "What's understood doesn't have to be explained." Man, I've been hearing a lot of people using that phrase now, but he said, what's understood don't have to be explained. And when it's real love, when it's understood, as you were just now saying, it doesn't have to be explained. It's understood right off the break. Right. So, excuse me, it doesn't have to be explained.
Your friends may ask you, why are you doing this?
Right.
Why are you with him still? And you know all this about him and know his past and know his history. But when you love him, I don't got to explain that to you.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't here. You ain't here. People ask your mother, why she with me?
Yeah.
I mean, they're up. Why are you with? And I remember maybe about 20 years ago, that some of the same people that were saying, "Girl, if I was you," because they was in their relations, "Girl, if I was you, I'd leave him." And they said all that kind of stuff. Now they've had 2 more marriages since then.
Yeah.
2 more since then.
Yeah.
And now they ain't with nobody.
Oh,
it's
man.
like, so, you had wisdom for somebody else, and yet you didn't have enough in you to keep your own. Sometimes people are just sour grapes. You know, they're just really mad at your happiness, you know, so they don't know what to do with you. So I want y'all to make sure that you got love covers. Proverbs 10, verse 12. Love classifies or puts you in a category once you are one that's showing love. John 13, verse 34 and 35. Love commits. I love that he said, if you love me. And see, that's the if factor. If you love me, why is it hard for you to do what I'm asking you to do? I mean, you think about that. You tell somebody, if you with me, you can't be with nobody else. And we like, that's just reasonable. Yet the Lord says, if you're mine, stop sleeping with the devil. Oh no, it's just the world we live in. It's just the world. And don't even realize that we are setting up a principle so that when we are finally with who we want to be with, the same way that we have been unfaithful to God, we have set up a principle of reciprocity that we want the person that we are with to be unfaithful to us. I just said something right there. I ain't gonna get no hearts, no fingers, no nothing right there, because you want to call your man a dog and your woman a this, a B, and all of that because they're not faithful. The question is, how faithful are you to God? How faithful are you to the love covenant that you made with God? Because love commits. Lord, if you just let me live and don't let this thing kill me, I promise, I'm going to be so faithful to you. Lord, if you just don't let me be pregnant this time, I promise, I'm never going to do it. Lord, if you just, and we make all these promises that we don't keep. Yet we get mad when we get with someone and they make promises that they don't keep. Reciprocity says you reap what you sow. We just think we can control who we're going to get the harvest of what we have sown, but God is not allowing it to come from the exact same source where you did it. It's got to be at a place where you are getting the same input to it that he put in you so that you can understand how he felt when you did it to him. Anybody that you've walked away from, that person paying you back to me, nothing, Charlie, out of my life. You know, I got somebody new. But God says, no, I've got to wait until it's somebody that you really, really want. I hear you, Ty. That's when he says it's going to be somebody that you really, really want. And then I'm going to allow you to feel the same thing that I felt. Wow. Man, I just done said something right there. So, love covers, love classifies, love commits. But then there's another scene. I'm gonna try to get through all of these. If you look at 1 John chapter number 4, verse 18. 1 John chapter 4, verse 18. Let's see about love again. What does it say about love? We're just giving you the characteristics so that if somebody that you're supposed to be with is not covering you, but they're trying to expose you, put you on blast, always putting all your business out there, telling your secrets to somebody else, then that ain't love. If that individual is not loving you in such a way that it sacrifices and gives up the same way that Jesus did, then that's not love. If that person that you're with is not willing to make a commitment and say, no, it's you and I exclusively, and I don't want anything to come between you and I don't want you to be anyone that has to question me or question my motives or my love, then it's not committing. That ain't love. I don't care what they say, because based on the book, those are the characteristics of love. Give me another one, please. Read that.
There is no fear in love.
Wait a minute. There is no
fear.
There is no
fear
in
love.
Wow. Keep on.
But perfect love casts out fear.
Yep.
Because fear involves torment.
In other words, he says, no, go ahead and finish reading that.
But he who fears has not been made perfect in love.
Wow. So anybody, watch what it says. It says that another characteristic of love is not only love covers, love classifies, love commits, but love also comforts. It comforts. COMFORTS. It says here that love does not cause you to fear. Because in fear, there is torment. So immediately, I'm about to mess all y'all's relationships up. If you put your hands on your mate, you don't love them. I can't say man on your woman because, domestic violence comes in many shades. So if there's any abuse, that cannot be love. You can't be punching and beating and think that it's love. It's about to mess somebody up. Steph is going to mess them up because the Bible says that Adam said, this is bone of my bone and flesh is my flesh. Which means that however he treats the individual that he is with is really how he feels about himself. So if there is a domestic violence situation, please know that you may be the object of the anger and the angst, but they're really not angry at you. You're just the object. They're angry at themselves and you are there. So they take out what they are feeling about themselves on you because they see what they hate in themselves in you. And let me just tell you this. I know that people try to say, you know what? God put y'all together. Y'all just stay there. Listen, if they are beating you upside your head, get out of the house until they get some help. They get some psychological help. They get some opioid help. They get some call the police help. They get your uncle beating them up help. They get some help because you are not created to be a punching bag because you are made in the image and the likeness of God, sir. The likeness of God, ma'am. So you do not stay in abusive, domestically violent situations because that is torment. That is fear. And there is no love where there is torment or fear. You cannot keep on saying, but I love them, and then bring home flowers or cook dinner or buy something or pay off something while they're walking around with shades on and bruises in their face and afraid to let people know what's really happening in the home. Cannot be love. Don't care how good the sex is. Cannot be love. I don't care how big the bags are. Cannot be love. I don't care how many times they say, I'm sorry. Look what you made me do. You see what you made me do? No, that was in you because there was self-hatred. And because there was self-hatred and you love your neighbor as yourself, then that means that if you are able to beat up the individual that is tied into you, it's because you already have a hatred for you and you're taking it out on the individual. Y'all want to say anything? Because my time is getting away from me.
Good advice, Steph.
This is deep. I think it's great. Love is a challenge.
Yeah, it is.
Outside of a choice, because sometimes
see.
I've noticed.
Put that down there.
Yeah, because even relationships that I didn't necessarily choose, I noticed that I don't put as much effort in showing my love or expressing my love into the relationships that I did choose. And
Right.
I don't know if it's because I didn't choose and I just figured they're going to be there no matter what. And the ones that I chose, I have to make sure I keep them around. But it's so backwards. And now I'm starting to want to flip it just because I want to express that to, the people that are always going to be there.
That is so powerful because we sometimes abuse the relationships that we could not choose, our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and our sisters, because, our aunties, our grandmothers, our uncles and everything like that. Because we could not choose those and they were always there, we will sometimes choose, when we have a choice, people outside of our home over our mothers, our fathers. We'll make somebody else our play mother more important than our real mother. We'll make somebody our play sister more important than our real sister.
Right.
We'll let somebody, I'm gonna start calling you grandma. I'm gonna call you grandma Nana. And your real grandma Nana saying, I wish I could just get a call. Period. Just get a call.
Right.
And so the relationships that we did choose because we're trying to prove something, whereas the ones we didn't choose have already proven their love instead. You know, so love covers, love classifies, that's good stuff. Love commits, love comforts. But then here's one, 1 John 3 verse 18. 1 John 3 verse 18. Please read, Josiah.
My little children.
My little children.
Let us not love in word or
Don't
in
just
tongue,
love in word and tongue. It ain't what you say. Go ahead.
but in deed and in truth.
But indeed, indeed, I like that I-N with the space and then D-E-E-D, not I-N-D-E-E-D, like indeed. Indeed, no, love indeed. Deed is an action word. Deed is a word of investment. I've got to do something. Love is a choice, but it is also an action word that requires both doing and giving. Love indeed. It's going to love, this other C, are you all ready? Love covers, love classifies, love commits, love comforts, but then love costs. Love costs, C-O-S-T-S, love costs. The problem with many of us is that we want to be the recipients of love, but don't want to have to pay the price of giving love. Love costs. And many of us, you know, like you've heard the song, we've gone through it so much. Not 70-30, not 60-40. See, we want to be able to say, I want to just give half and you give the other half. No, real love requires both individuals giving 100%. 100%. And most of us don't want to have to give 100%. Because I done been through so much. Somebody, you know, I just think that you have to prove that you love me. Well, the other person's been through something too. And they want you to prove it as well. So, love costs. I got to get these last two in. Let's look at 1 John chapter 4, verse 20 and 21. 1 John 4, verse 20 and 21. Please read.
If someone says, I love God and hates his brother, he is a liar.
Right.
For he who does not love his brother whom he has seen, how can he love God whom he has not seen?
Wow.
And this commandment we have from him, that he who loves God must love his brother also.
So love connects. Love connects. You cannot say that you love God that you have not seen and can't love your brother or your sister or your neighbor that you see every day. You are a liar and the truth is not in you. Love will connect you with people. The Bible says, as I told you before, in Luke 10 verse 27, it says that you got to love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself. I wrote something down. You cannot love God and not love yourself because you are made in the image and likeness of God. Genesis 1 verse 26 through 28. He made us in his image and likeness. So if I love God, I've got to love me. And if I love me, then I've got to love others. Why? Because they are made in the image and likeness of God. So I've got to love what looks like me because what looks like me looks like God. Is God. So love covers, classifies, love commits, love comforts, love costs, love connects. And then here's one in Proverbs chapter 17, verse 17. This is my last one. Thank you all for being so patient today. Proverbs 17, verse 17. Here's what it says, please.
A friend loves at all times.
A friend loves when?
At all times.
When?
At all times.
Wow, go ahead.
And a brother is born for adversity.
That means that love cares. A friend loves at all times. At all times, no matter what. The Bible says in John 15, verse 13, it says, greater love has no man than this, that he lays down his life for his friends. Well, that passage in Proverbs 17 says, a friend loves at all times. I just want to ask you, everybody that you call your friend, are you willing to die for them? Everybody you call your friend, because it says, greater love has no one than this, that he would lay down his life for his friend. I'm not even going to ask you to die for your friend. I'm going to ask you, will you give your kidney for your friend? I'm going to ask you, will you go and give blood for your friend? See, if you start looking at what it means to give of yourself, you'll start realizing I might not like them as much as I claimed to love them. Love cares beyond human understanding. Perfect love boggles the natural mind when it comes to a reason why we should love. It boggles the mind. Why should, what's it? What? And Janice said this earlier on. There was no even questioning of Jesus. Why would you do this? That level of love boggles the mind because it says, Paul writes, it says, for a righteous man, maybe one would die. But for an unrighteous man, ain't nobody ready to die. But he loved us so much that he died for the ungodly. That kind of love messes your mind up. And so you can wind up saying, what makes him love me? You know, the old song of the church says, I don't know why Jesus loved me. I don't know why he cared. I don't know why he sacrificed his life. Oh, but I'm glad. I'm so glad he did. Where would I be if Jesus didn't love me? That was Andre Crouch that did that. So you've got to, that kind of love messes your mind up. So before you say the word, I love you so quickly, start asking yourself, do I first of all know the definition as we see it in 1 Corinthians 13? And then secondly, do I know the characteristics of real love? Listen, I'm out of time. I'm not out of word. I promise you, next week, this time, on this same channel, thank you so much, Church Talk. We're going to be right back here again. Thank you, my YouTube family. Thank you, my Facebook family. And I see some people coming on right now. My brother, Big Rob. Good to see you on here. And my daughter, Elaine Bullock, all the way in Mexico. I see you all coming on now, but my time is up. So please go back and rewatch this in your leisure time. And those of you that hung on, I saw when I started getting to certain levels of love, folks started falling off. Yeah, they wasn't ready for that, you know, because they're not ready for they want to say the word, but they don't want to know the characteristics and demonstrate them. But listen, I want to invite you to come on and be a part of Faith United Ministries, 7905 Fred M. Lane in District Heights, Maryland. We're going to be teaching something on tonight, and right after Bible study, as we always do, we're giving away groceries. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much again, my daughter Regina Robinson Davis, for making it possible, because some people are on the air because they can afford to be on the air. Others on the air because they like the way they sound on the air. But we're on the air because what? We got something to say. We got something to say. We got something to say. You heard. God bless you. We love you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hey, listen, I need you all. Facebook, share it. YouTube, share it. You can do that. And YouTube family, you can leave comments. We'll mess around and get to those as well. But this is a teaching that it sounds easy, but it's not necessarily easy, because we say the word love and people have gotten raped and molested and murder, suicide. Somebody murdered somebody, then committed suicide in the name of love. I can't live without them. If I can't have them, nobody will have them. And all of that was done in the name of love. I want you to now go and listen at this, watch this again. It's going to bless your life. And listen, somebody in your family probably needs it. Why don't you go ahead and tag them and send it to them? And then they'll be like, why you send this to me? Watch it. Right. You'll figure out why. God bless you.
If this has been a blessing, you all, please, if you want to sow a seed, just to say, Pastor, we thank you for your ministry. You can please do that via Cash App. That handle is the $, capital D, lowercase r, capital J, capital E, capital S.
And I want you to please know how much I appreciate it when you do that. And some of you all may be on PayPal. If you're on PayPal, go to jesturdivant@mail.com. jesturdivant@mail.com. But please go to my landing page. Check it out. I've got books. I've got messages there. I want you to just take advantage of it. It can bless you. I've done the studying for you. Just watch it, read it, and be better as a result of it.